Oh, I should take this away. Oh dear. Hello everyone. Can someone wave to say that you hear me? Great. So I hope you hear me. Hello. Okay. Could someone just say we hear you? Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Can someone just confirm you hear me? Okay, so I take it you do. Pascal, please, can you please say you hear me? Okay, so I wanted to have a quick word with you. Thank you very much for joining. Thanks, Shalona. I understand you're saying you hear me. Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to have a quick word with you because everyone is calling me about visas. So I wanted to talk to you, to tell you a few things. The first is I don't do visas. There's nothing I can do about it. It's the consulate. I will soon make a video with the consul to explain all about it. We'll go and visit the consulate and we'll ask the consul how it works. But still, because I was asked so often, I've been inquiring on how to acquire a visa. So it's actually very simple. When you want to have a visa for France, you go onto a website that is called francevisa.gouv.fr. I don't know if you see it. Maybe I should switch the camera around. So I'm doing all sorts of bizarre things. How can I do that? Oh, here. There we go. Okay. So you see, this is the website you have to go onto, right? As you can see here, you have, do I need a visa? So that's the first question you may wonder. Sometimes you have a different passport and you may want to know if you need a visa. So you take the test, it's 3 minutes and it tells you whether you do need a visa or not. Then you can start your visa application. You can submit your application and you can track your application to know if it's being processed. So to do a visa application, you just click here. Is that working? Oh, please prove me working. Yes, it is. Sorry, my connection is not that good. And then you access the visa application. And then you just enter your details. Okay? And when you're done, at the end of the application, you are given, let me switch back so I can see you. There we go. So when you're done, when you're finished with your application, you are given a registration number and normally you're also given an appointment. Why are you given an appointment? Because we need to take your fingerprints, so we need you in person, and we need to get the documents, the required documents. So at the end of the application, there will be a list of documents that you need to provide, and then your fingerprints, which you also have to provide. And I would like to share with you a few advice. First of all, do it yourself. Do not let anyone fill in the form for you. Because if someone else fills in, he or she might tick a box that is not the one that you would have ticked. And then when you come for the interview, the question that you will be asked might not be relevant with the boxes that have been ticked. So make sure you fill in the form yourself. Make sure you do the documents yourself. Do not use anyone's services. Do not ask any agent or any friend who pretends that he knows the embassy. We do not work with any agent, and you don't need to pay an agent. So do everything by yourself. You might be required a bank statement. Make sure it is your bank statement. You will be required an insurance. Make sure it is you and that you have done it yourself. Because if someone else does it, they might say it's an insurance, a health insurance, and what you need is actually a travel insurance. You will probably be asked to show payslips. Make sure they are your payslips and they are relevant. If your job is to be an engineer, your payslips have to say engineer. And when the interview, when the person asks you what you're doing, make sure you say the same thing as what's written and what's on the payslip. If you go through an agent, chances are that something in the dossier will not be relevant and you will be denied. And that is very sad, because once you are denied in one of the 26 Schengen countries, you will be denied in all of them. We recently caught someone on the car park of the embassy who was helping people to do their applications. Well, the thing is, helping meant providing documents, most of which were fake, and pretending that he knew the embassy. Most of his clients have been denied, and unfortunately they will be denied for a long time. So please, I don't do visas. I cannot help with the visas. All I can tell you is that many people call me because they are very sorry they were denied. But when we look in the dossier, we see that there were some documents that were not relevant. They obviously had not put the dossier together themselves. And that's where the issue is. So always do it yourself. Now, it's sometimes difficult to get an appointment because the same kind of crooks who are trying to so-called help you put your dossier, they have overbooked the appointments with VFS with whom we are working. So what we are doing at the moment, we are trying to identify these appointments that have been made by this so-called agent who is a scam. We are cancelling them all, so this should be give some more slots, and we would be able to have more appointments. So it's not our fault if you couldn't get an appointment. It's because someone bought all the appointments to sell them back, of course, at a better price. And when I say better for him, not for you. The only thing, yes, and of course they do the same with the US Embassy. I absolutely agree. They do the same with, unfortunately, many embassies. So the website is france-visas.gouv.fr. Let me show you again. France Visas. But if you go on Google, France-visas, it is the website, and you can tell it's the official website because GOUV means gouvernement, which is the equivalent of GOV, government. Okay? So, do you have any questions? I understand the appointments are very difficult to have, but once we have cancelled all the appointments that this crook has made, it should release some available slots for you. The Schengen visa is called Schengen. It's called Schengen because the agreement among those 26 countries to share the same requirements and give one visa that will give you access to all 26 countries, that agreement was signed in Schengen. So that's why it is called the Schengen visa. So 26 countries, namely, I'm not sure I could list them all, but you have Italy, Spain, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, even if they're not in the EU. The Schengen visa is also worth for Malta. I know I'm forgetting many. There are 26 countries. So the thing is, once you have a visa to one of those countries, it is valid for all the countries, the 26 countries of Schengen, because there's no longer any borders and border checks among those 26 countries. So some people also said, oh, it's expensive. It's actually not really, well, it is expensive. It is like 80 euros, just for the record. If you want a visa for Ghana as a French, it is 120 euros, so it's much more expensive. If you want a visa to study in France, it's a bit different because you need to go through Campus France. You have one in Kumasi, one in Accra. You Google campus, like a campus, France, and they will walk you through the whole process of finding the right university, the right scholarships, and possibly help you with the visas. We do not give working visas unless you already have an employer who has given you a contract, and then with this working contract in France, then you can apply for a working visa. You don't have money for visa, please, we're staying in Ghana. Well, if you don't have money for a visa, which is 80 euros, you will not have money for the airplane, which is going to be something like 600 euros. And then worse, you will not have money to have a good time in France, to pay for the hotel, to go to a restaurant and to enjoy France. So I suggest you do like I did when I was young. I saved and saved and saved until I could actually afford traveling. You want to sell Banco in France? I'm not quite sure that might be a success, but you can always try. You can always try. But you know, we've got quite a large Ghanaian community in France, and I know that some of them do Banco. Do Campus France charge money for their services? Yes, because it covers half the price of the visa. It covers the helping you to get the right information about the universities. It helps you register in university, and they also advise you how best to succeed in your registration, and then they walk you through the whole process of getting a student visa. No, the UK is not one of those 26 countries, not 21. I would say, as a joke, Brexit means Brexit. No, we don't do package travel. We're not a travel agency. The maximum, sorry, you asked how much you need on your account. There is no steady amount. We just check, the consulate, I say we, the French immigration, they check that the amounts appearing on your bank account are relevant with the salary that's on your payslip, and with your that you will have a regular income and that you have good reasons to come back to Ghana. We don't want to take the risk that that you arrive in France and then you are penniless and you have a very bad experience. So there's no steady amount that you should have on your account, but it should show that you have sufficient funds to sustain your stay in France, and that you will be able to actually pay for your stay, and that you will actually be able to pay for the hotel and, you know, have a good time. So most people have good legit documents yet get refused because the documents are not convincing. You know, it's always easy to say afterwards, no, but my documents were good. Every time people have pointed at one specific dossier that was so-called good, and I asked the consulate to look again, either one of the documents was fake or the hotel reservation had been cancelled in the meantime, or they were saying they were traveling for one purpose and then when checking the purpose wasn't true. Some people will say, oh, I want a visa for family reunion. So when they check, there is no family out there. Or they say, we want to travel for a conference on that date, but then you realize that the airplane is on the next day. So obviously they're not traveling for that conference. So you see, the due diligence always enable to find out so always be genuine, always tell the truth. You want to do tourism, say you want to do tourism. Someone asked me if you need an invitation. No, you do when you are French and you want to come to Ghana, you need an invitation. You need to have someone to respond for you. Not the case in France. You need to be genuine. If you want to go to France to do tourism, you have booked a hotel, you just present your hotel reservation and you make sure it's a genuine one because they will be checked. You will show that you have your plane ticket, and if everything is genuine, there's no reason why you should be denied. When you are denied, it's that something was not relevant, something was not matching, and usually when you go through the dossier, you find out that the person had not filled in her dossier herself and had obviously asked for some agent or someone to fill it in. So when she was asked question at the interview, the answers she gave was not the same. It didn't match what was on the form that had been filled. Honesty is the best policy. Thank you, Eliza Etora. That is very true. This is not about me. This is about visa. I'm trying to help you to learn. Is it compulsory to learn to speak French? Thank God, no. We have made lots of efforts in terms of tourism in France. So now in hotel desks, in tourist agency desks, wherever you go, even in the shops, most people actually speak English. So no, you don't need. But if you want to study in France, you don't have to speak French unless you want to study French. And it's good to already have a little level in French. But we also provide courses in some university courses in English. So French is not compulsory. What you need is to have basic French to be able to find your way around. But then if you go to France, it is specifically to learn French. So you don't want to speak French before you go and learn it, really. It's like asking for... do you require people to speak Twi before they come to Ghana? That wouldn't make many tourists, would they? Do you have student visa scholarships? I don't know what that means. We have scholarships and we have student visas. So Campus France can walk you through everything. So if you are a first timer, first application, you will indeed go through a bit more due diligence because you are not in the system yet. When you have had a visa already, and when you apply again because your visa has expired, then it will be easier because we've got you in the system already. So we will just ask for some new documents to make sure that maybe you've changed jobs or maybe you have, of course, a new insurance because the insurance can be only for one trip. But we already have you and we know that you already traveled and you came back. So you gain a bit of confidence credit. So you don't go through the same scrutiny as when it's your first time. How can I contact you and meet you? Oh my God, that is well, today is about visa, but let me tell you something. If you remember, I did a couple of months ago a meet and connect in Kumasi. So I was lucky to meet some of my followers of Kumasi, and I had promised we do one in Accra. So stay tuned. There will be soon a meet and connect in Accra. I will tell you all about it later. So back to our visas thing and student programs. Again, Campus France. They are the people you need to go and meet. There's one at UG and one at KNUST. Go and meet them. They will tell you everything. You have a French background. You're a student of KNUST, Agric Science. I'm asking for the scholarship availability. Ask Campus France, depending on your grades, depending on what kind of studies you want to pursue. There might be a scholarship for you. We have scholarships, but we don't do them directly. We do share the scholarships with the scholarship secretariat, and then we call for application once a year for scholarships for doctorates and masters. But there are many other options of scholarships. This has to be asked Campus France, the other ones. Apply for a work visa. Again, work visa is only when you already have a contract in France. When you already have a job in France, then you will be given a working visa. But normally when you have the contract, the company you're going to work with, they can do all that process for you. They will help you. How many days will I spend to walk from Ghana to France? Unless you can swim, I'm not quite sure you can walk all the way because there's a bit of a sea to cross, and I would not recommend that. You now have a direct line with Air France, so you can fly directly to France. It lands in Paris in Charles de Gaulle. Work visa as a teacher. Same reply. You already need to have some work. But for teachers, what you can do is apply every year. We have this program of lecturers, language assistants that are all over France. So you can get an experience. It's like an internship for 1 year. You teach English to French people, to French students, and in return, of course, you have an experience in France. Some people can ask questions. Oh, yes, that's the whole point of it. Some people can ask questions. I'm trying not to miss any of your questions. Work visas, I've got those. A meeting of you in UCC. Why not? I did one in KNUST. I went to visit UG as well. But again, it's not about me. So please, for those who only joined us, let me say it again. Fill in the forms yourself on France Visa. Let me see if that works. France Visa. That is the website. It's very easy. The information that are required are all information you know, your date of birth, your name, your email address. Make sure the email address you're giving is the good one, because normally if we have to write to you for an appointment, we will use the email address. Make sure your phone number is also a phone number that you will pick up. Make sure you fill in the application. Don't let anyone do it for you. Consider this like a blood test or a driving license. You wouldn't use anyone to do it for you, because chances are that the information he or she will put in for you will not match the information that you will give during the interview. So I come as well as a tourist. If I don't want to stay, no, you do not need invitation letters. What you need, if you want to go as a tourist, you will have a hotel, most likely. You will book a hotel. You will organize your trip, right? So when you go to the consulate to present your documents, make sure that everything is relevant and consistent. And so that if you say, I'm going to do tourism in Paris and maybe visit Versailles, make sure that you have a hotel that is actually in that area, and that the hotel booking is real. It happens that we can call the hotel to check that you actually have a booking. Then make sure you have a plane ticket. And if you have a plane ticket, make sure it's cancelable. So at least if you are denied, you do not lose any money. How much for the student visa? So if you go through Campus France, the student visa will be half price for you. Do you need having traveling experience to? No, not at all. Not at all. It can be your first trip ever, and it would be to Europe. That would be a blessing. Yeah, that would be an honor to have you in Europe as your first trip, the first flight and first trip overseas. So hardship makes people lie. Yeah, no, but that's never a good idea, because it's becoming even harder for them, because when the lie is too big, sometimes we have to report them. So you on top of a hardship, you might be in trouble with the local authorities. You know that the talking to a consulate is talking to the authorities of another country. So lying to authorities is never a good idea. Please, we want to go shoot videos in Paris. Well, it's very easy. You put together the plan of what you want to do. You will have a hotel where to stay. You will have a flight booking. So you put that all together. When it comes to shooting, depending on the places where you want to shoot, you might need some permissions sometimes, because some places are classified or protected. So I would suggest you call the tourist agency in France near the place you want to shoot to ask for if that place is authorized or not. So you might, as professionally shoot, you might need some authorizations. So make sure you ask the mairie of the city where you are, when you mean to shoot, if there are any requirements or if you are allowed to shoot. Thank you very much for very kind compliments. Okay, if you get a visa and you don't come back, you are in big trouble, because then you are being reported to the French and all 26 countries' police. So you will live in clandestinity for your entire life, because the moment you would try to get a work permit or to get an extension of visa or any police control random where you have to present your passport or an ID card, if you don't have a passport and ID card, you will be immediately sent to a retention center until we find out who you are. But because we got your fingerprints, we will very quickly manage to find out who you are. And then through a random control, we will find that you're illegal, and you will be in big trouble. You will be sent back, and you will be probably sent to prison back here for trying to immigrate illegally. And before you are sent back, you will be in a retention center that is not the nicest hotel I can think of. So, you're American, do you need a visa? Well, that's a good question. You go on to francevisa.gouv.fr and you choose the option, do I need a visa? And then you fill in the form. It will ask you what kind of passport you have. And then when you click that you have an American passport, they will tell you whether you do or do not need a visa. A question you're not asking me, but you should, is if you are not Ghanaian, but you are in Ghana, and you want to apply for a visa for France, can you do it in the consulate here in Accra? And the answer is yes, of course. And if you are Ghanaian and, for instance, you live in the UK, or you live in China, or you live in Togo, and you want a visa for France, you can go to the consulate of France in the country where you are. It doesn't matter your nationality. What matters is to go to the consulate of the country where you want to go. Another question you're not asking is that, okay, the visa is valid for 26 countries. So if you want to travel to Spain, for instance, can you come to the French consulate to get a visa? And the answer is no, because we have an agreement among the 26 Schengen countries that the country that issues the visa is the first entry, the country of first entry. It's the entry point to the Schengen area. So if you fly to Europe and your first entry point is Spain, and you are actually going to Spain to stay a few days in Spain, then you have to go and get your Schengen visa in Spain. If, for instance, you are going to Spain, but you are traveling with Air France and then connect in Paris, but you're staying at the airport, you're not getting out, your final destination and the first entry point where you will actually go into the Schengen zone will still be Spain. So it is the first country where you will actually sleep over, the first place where you will actually stay. That's the country that will issue the visa. If there is no consulate of the country that you want to visit, like Portugal, for instance, you want to go to Portugal, there is no consulate of Portugal here. So the countries who do not have a consulate, they do an agreement with countries who do have a consulate here. And for instance, Portugal has an agreement with the Netherlands. So when you want to travel to Portugal, you have to apply with the Dutch embassy. Okay, so that's a lot of information, I know, but I'm trying not to. My sister is in Paris. Can she use her ID to guarantee me to go to France? Actually, we don't really care. What matters is you, whether you are going to come back or not. So it's you're asking a visa. You see, I mentioned earlier, asking for a visa is just like doing a blood test or taking a driving license. You wouldn't use your sister's blood test. You would use yours. So we are going to look at your file, not your sister's. But your sister can actually say that she will accommodate you. Therefore, you will not present a hotel reservation because she will accommodate you. Can we apply from Dubai? In Dubai, we don't have a consulate. I'm not sure we have a consulate, but we do have one in Abu Dhabi. So if you want to apply for a visa, a Schengen visa for France, and if you are in Dubai, you could check on the internet. I know the embassy is in Abu Dhabi. Maybe there's a consulate in Dubai. But in any case, you can apply in the consulate in Abu Dhabi, that's for sure. Okay, so what else? Mummy, that's me. Oh, thank you very much for your kind messages. This is very cute. Thank you. Can I apply to university using DELF B2? A1, A2, B1, B2. I think B2 is quite a bit of a level, isn't it? So it means you speak French. So again, it depends on what you are applying for. If you're applying for a course that will be in English, it doesn't really matter. You have an A1 or A2, you're going to learn while you're in France. But if you want to study in a course that will be in French, I think maybe B2 might be the minimum level required. So, but you know who can tell you all about it? That is Campus France. That's not me. I know many things, but not so much really. Can anyone go to France when the person can't speak? Yes, of course, you can go to France. Can anyone come to Ghana when they don't speak Twi? Yes, of course. So thank God. I traveled once on holiday to Thailand. I don't speak Thailandese. So yes, of course. How much in French? Someone asked me something about how much it costs to go to France and come back. And thank you very much, PSYDNY, for asking that question in French. And I'm going to read it for you. Combien cela me coûtera-t-il de visiter la France et de revenir? Well, it depends many things. If you travel economy, if you travel business. When you travel economy in a direct flight, sometimes it's even it can be cheaper if you go through another, with many stops. It's not very convenient, but sometimes you can get cheaper flights through Amsterdam. And direct flights sometimes may be a bit more expensive. So I would say if you have a budget of like 600 euros for your flight, that's already that. Then you have 80 euros for your visa. Then a hotel room, I think you can find hotels for like 100, 120 euros a night. And then I would make sure that I have something like 20 euros minimum a day to buy, if you want to buy sandwiches and eat finger food. But if you want to go to a restaurant, the minimum might be something like 50 euros. So depending on how long you want to stay, the budget will be, it will be, if you just go and come back and spend just one night, it's a bit sad. If you go for 10 nights, that will be 1,200 euros. Then let's say 20 euros a day for 10 days, which is 200. And then the flight, I think that if you want to be able to buy some gift, 3,000 euros is what you might need to do a real nice trip to France and enjoy. That's probably the minimum. And by the way, do I like theater? Yes, I do. And there are lots and lots and lots of theaters, theater plays, but also cinemas in France, in Paris. There's not only Paris, by the way. I'm happy that you all like to go to Paris, but you can also visit so many other places in France, in the regions, and we have fast trains to get to those places, and they're usually much cheaper than Paris. Paris is a very expensive country. It's a very, very expensive city, just like most capitals, isn't it? For a Greece visa, I applied for a Greece visa and was issued a Spanish visa. I visited Spain first and enjoyed the place, and then you got a Spanish visa because you visited Spain first. But we don't have a Greece consulate here. And no, it's not. No, it's not going to affect. Once you have a Schengen visa, it is valid for all 26 countries for the duration of your visa. So if you have a 3 months visa, if it's a one entry, you go once, but then you can go to every 26 countries and come back before the visa expires. But if you have a visa, if you've already gone and it's the second or third visa that you're getting and you get a multiple entry that is valid for like a year, you can go, come back, visit another Schengen country, come back, visit yet another Schengen country and come back. There's no limit. Once you have, this is why you see the due diligence are being serious, because once you have a visa for all 26 countries that is worth for, let's say, a year, you can come and go, and even if France issues the visa, you can go to Spain, you can go to Germany, you can go to the Netherlands. So that's why the requirements are we make sure that they comply with all 26 countries' requirements. If you are a foreigner in another country without a work resident permit, is it possible you can apply for a visa? A foreigner in another country, does that mean that you are, let's say, Togolese and you live in Ghana? Yes, of course, because no matter the reason why you are in Ghana, you want to travel, you will be asked the same documents. So if you are, let's say, from Togo, but you have a steady job in Togo, your pay slips are from Togo, everything is from Togo, it just doesn't really matter. How relevant is embassy to the indigenous people? How relevant is embassy? I'm not quite sure I get that, boy miracle. So if you could make a miracle and translate that for me in a way that I can actually answer. Oops. Please, we want to meet with Kweku Flick. Oh, I would love to meet him. Yeah, it's more or less. I see you're very interested in studying in France. So studies, please, Campus France. That is not the embassy. It is Campus France. I'm going to Paris, but my flight is KLM. The place you're going is Paris. So the visa, the first place you will hit is actually France. It doesn't matter if you go through KLM. You will be in the transit area. You do not enter the Netherlands. So the visa has to be France. So the final destination is what matters. And then it's the country that you're going to stay in that matters. And that's the one that is going to issue the visa for you. Or at least study your dossier. I have no question. I just passed by. Oh, thank you, Her Magazine. That's very kind of you. Thanks for following. How much bank statement balance do you need? Well, there's nothing I need. We want a genuine bank account. Sometimes when there's obviously too much money coming in the past few weeks, it can make us suspicious. Our services will check whatsoever. So you see, if you have a payslip that says that you make 1,200 CDs a month, and that we are expecting to see this amount falling onto your bank account at around a day or two after, well, same date as the payslip. It just has to be relevant. It has to make sense, you see. If you say, if you have a payslip that say you make 3,000 a month, and then suddenly on your account we see that the regular amount that is being transferred from the same employer is 1,200, we know that there's something wrong. There's obviously, and that will make us suspicious. So just be genuine. Just say the truth and be genuine. You want to study in the UK, so you should talk to my colleague from the UK. Ghanaian teachers about French civilization, a special exchange for... Yeah, I would love to have exchanges. We have this program with UNESCO. It's about teachers who are coming to teach French. But why not? You see, why don't you look on the website? Sometimes we have a program, maybe it's still on, Nyan Sapo. It's about exchange of researchers. So if you have a French civilization professor who would like to do an exchange with a Ghanaian teacher about the same subject, then you could pair and have that funded for your mobility. So check onto the website. We do this kind of researchers mobility among researchers in France and Ghana to pair them. I want to go on my honeymoon in Paris. Does that fall under tourism? Yes, of course it does. Well, congratulations. And she's very lucky. Obviously, that's the best place to go on a honeymoon. So yes, you apply for a tourist visa, and then you just tell the truth. Say you're going on a honeymoon, and you can show your marriage certificate to show that. And if it's a late honeymoon, you say it's just a wedding anniversary. But yes, but don't say it's a honeymoon just to impress the desk officer, and obviously you're not married. So yes, you apply for a tourist visa. Just be genuine, tell the truth, and do it yourself. You are in Germany and you want to travel to France. So yeah, there's a normally if you're in Germany you already have a Schengen visa, so you're in the Schengen zone, so you don't really need a new Schengen. But if your visa expires, even if you're in Germany, you can go to the consulate and get a new visa. I hope this is complete. How long does it take for an embassy to process family reunification? Visa, well, we have to do due diligence that the family is actually in France and that it falls under the actual criteria of family reunification. Going to join an aunt, a cousin, or a brother or sister is not really family unification. Can one apply for 10 years? No, we don't have that. And you don't get to choose the duration, actually. For the first travel, you will be given a short-term visa, usually 30 days. And then we don't do 10 years visa. The maximum is 5 years. And the maximum is actually the duration of your passport. So even if you are a frequent traveler, you've traveled to France regularly, but then you apply and you want a long-term visa, but unfortunately your passport expires in 2 years, we will not be able to give you a visa that is for a longer duration than the duration of your passport. What's one of the main cultural difference between France and Ghana? Oh, we'll have that discussion. There are many differences, but there's also a lot we have in common, and I think we like to party. That's the main thing we have in common. VFS or interview, VFS officer trained to ask. No, because we don't, interviews are not done by VFS yet. So far, VFS is only handling the appointments. Not me, so please don't call me for appointments. I'm not the secretary to VFS. So VFS are the ones who are organizing the appointment schedule. So far, they are not the ones doing the interviews, but if we were to transfer that to be able to have more people, because we've got more and more applications, and I only have one desk with one officer, so there will be a moment where we're absolutely overwhelmed. So we might delegate to VFS. Yes, they will be highly trained, and they will be audited regularly, and we will go and check that it goes right, and we will double check sometimes. So yes, they are trained, yes. But they do not get to reject. They will just advise what documents are relevant and which ones are not, really. But you can insist on putting this document. At the end of the day, they are not the ones who will assess the documents and grant or deny the visa. So they just collect the documents for you. Should France still be first point of entry? Should France still be first point of entry visiting Greece on a France multi-entry? Not sure what you mean. If you already traveled and your visa is still valid, you can go to Greece. If it's your first visa for your application, if you mean to go to Greece, you need to apply for a visa for Greece. I'm not sure who does that here. Maybe the Netherlands. So you should check. Oh, thank you very much. Very kind messages. Thank you. So, okay, I hope you got the message right. So let me just sum it up for those who joined us late. Go on to France Visa Gouv FR, which is this website. Okay, France Visas. You can, on this website, you can check whether you need a visa and then do your application online. Do not use anyone to do it. Do not use an agent. Do not use someone who pretends, you know me. I know no one who can help you. We have no agreement with any agency. France has no agreement. The only agreement we have is with VFS and only to do the appointments. So if anyone comes to you and says, I can help you get your visa, it is fake, it's scam, it's a crook, run away. They are trying to make money on your back. So don't. It's online. Fill in the form yourself, because if you let it be done by someone else, it's most likely that some of the information this someone will put in are not relevant with what you are going to give when you come for the interview and for your fingerprints. So it's just like fingerprints. No one can do it for you. Do it yourself. Don't use anyone. Be genuine. Tell the truth. Give real documents. And understand that if you are denied, it's usually for very good reasons. We do not like to deny visas. I'm so happy that you Ghanaians want to come and visit my country. It's always heartbreaking when we have to deny visa. So please be genuine in whatever you declare and fill in your form. Don't let anyone do it for you. Not even your brother, your PA, your sister, your mom. Do it yourself. Apply yourself. You're going to be the one sitting in the airplane. You're going to be the one visiting France. So do your application yourself. Don't let anyone do it for you. A student visa was denied, yes, because something was wrong in your dossier. That's the only answer I can give. Football trail in France, same. You have to have someone who can assess that you actually have a football trail or a football tournament, and if so, there must be some French club who will be able to prove that you're not that you actually have a football tournament or scouting or something. So make a genuine application for genuine reason. Don't lie. If you want to just go for tourism, don't pretend you have a conference. Don't pretend you have a working meeting. Don't pretend. Just be genuine. That always works, you know. And understand that if you are denied, it usually is because there was something not matching in your dossier, and you know, unfortunately, we have the consulate and immigration, due diligence, and we have many ways and means to cross-check and to see immediately when someone lies. And sometimes it's just ridiculous. People just lie because they think it's going to be quicker, but it's not. It is just going to put you in a dire straits and be denied for all 26 countries. And just as well, if you've been denied in another country, there's no point going through a visa application here, because you most likely are going to be denied again. And if someone comes to see you and says, oh, you've been denied, I know how to get you a visa, run away. You will know that it's a crook or a scam, or it's someone who actually wants to take money from you, and it's going to make things worse. So how long does it take? Please make the application between 2 and 3 months before you want to travel, because we are very overbooked. We're trying to get some slots, getting rid of all the fake appointments that have been made by the crooks, but still 2 months is a reasonable delay to start your application. Then once you have presented all your documents after your appointment, average it takes a week, because they do the due diligence and everything, and so it usually takes a week. So the best thing is you actually apply on France Visa yourself, no agent, fill in the form 2 months before you want to travel. Make sure you have all the right documents when you turn up at the consulate to present your documents. Hello Lifik, I see you. And then be genuine. Give genuine documents, give the genuine reason. Do not pretend that you are traveling for a family reunion if you don't have family there. Don't pretend you have a business meeting if you just want to see the Eiffel Tower. I mean, we are a tourist country. We're only too happy if you want to do the Eiffel Tower, but don't pretend that you want to do something else. Oh, someone says he was in ENA in Paris. Well, congratulations. I'm also a former student of the ENA. I want to connect in Ghana with Oti, Mr. Freddy. You can connect with him by DM him on his Instagram account. That is Oti Official. He will be happy to connect with you. Okay, guys, so my next meeting is waiting for me in the corridor. So I want to thank you for listening. I hope these advice have been useful. Thanks again. I will come to talk to you soon because I will soon organize a meet and connect in Accra, and I will be looking forward to seeing you and to meeting you in person, and we will do selfie, we will chat, and I will be so happy to meet with you. Thank you so very much for your support, your constant support. Thank you so very much for your very heartwarming messages. You are a fantastic Ghanafo. It's a great pleasure. It's a daily pleasure to be here in Ghana, and I want to thank you. I could stay all the afternoon with you just reading the nice compliments you're sending me. It's so flattering for my ego. But now I've got to go back to work because someone is waiting for me. So thank you so much. Lots of love. And in France, we say bisous. So thank you very much. See you soon. Bye.